Bottom 5, Winston-Salem will try to get something going offensively against Jonathan Martinez. Boy, has he been strong through 4 innings. Just 2 hits, and he has struck out 2. Largely, though, the Dash have put the ball in play, and they haven't induced a whole lot of hard contact.
Pitch count way down. He's thrown strikes, gotten ahead, made people chase some pitches out of the strike zone.
Jeremy Doughty takes a strike on the outer half. Doughty is turned into this organization's utility catcher. If there is a need for a catcher at any of the top 3 levels, Winston, Birmingham, or Charlotte, Doughty normally heads up there. And that one right through the wickets of Carlos Peñalver. Through his legs on a skimmer that was right at him. And that's an easy E6. The Dash catch a break.
Too easy a play. Just got a little bit nonchalant about it. Didn't keep the glove down. Missed it by a lot, too.
Peñalver's team-leading 6th error. Myrtle Beach is 22 on the season. That's pretty good for a Carolina League team at this stage, 30 games in. But Doughty went up to AAA Charlotte after opening weekend here at BB&T Ballpark. George Kateris was on the disabled list. And he performed admirably. Only played 3 times. In that situation, he knows and he understands as a non-drafted free agent that he needs to kind of bide his time and wait for an opportunity. And in his 3 games with the Knights, 5 for 8.
There you go. Catch somebody's eye, and all of a sudden you jump up a few notches.
Keenan Walker skips 1 foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And if you're a young player today and you want to fast track to the big leagues, become a good catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Catch and throw guy that can hit 260 can play for a long time.
So youngsters start doing some squats. Because,
boy, do they take a beating.
No question. 1-1 pitch. Walker leading this league, 3rd place in all of minor league baseball with 20 stolen bases. The Dash 4th in the minors as a club in that category. Speed has been the name of the game for this team. Bouncing ball, and this one finds the outfield. Rogers kind of stopped after taking a few steps to his right, and the first baseman can't come up with it. Dash with runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out.
And he may have been blocked out just a little bit by Doughty, too, as he went over there, as Doughty held up to let the ball get by him. Maybe didn't track it all that well. Not particularly well struck. Great location.
So the Dash with runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Cleo Luis Rondon, the batter.
There's some support of Mother's Day.
Yeah, Eric Backus, the home plate umpire. Chase Eade, the man on the bases, both sporting the wristbands. We saw Walker's 2-toned bat with the pink on the barrel. He's also rocking some black cleats with pink shoelaces and some pink outlining on it. Happy Mother's Day to all those out there. Some mothers took part in a pregame photo opportunity here at the ballpark. Rondon shows bunt off the plate. Martinez able to stumble over, and with a bare hand, he throws to the covering second baseman Lockhart. He was indecisive about which hand to grab that baseball with, and he ended up making the right choice to quickly retire. Cleo Luis Rondon on the sacrifice completed 1-4.
And that could have turned disastrous on him very, very easily. Anytime you try to bare hand and you're off balance, as he was, that's the recipe for disaster.
And you see pitchers sometimes struggle with that defense on bunts. And J.R. Purdue Dash pitching coach said sometimes the taller guys have it much harder because they got to reach down further.
And they've got a lot bigger moving parts rolling, trying to get coordinated. And you're moving on a sprint anyway as you try to get over there. You've got to stop your momentum. If you weigh a little bit more, it takes a little more to stop it.
And they call a balk on Jonathan Martinez. His first of the year brings home a Winston-Salem run. Just the 2nd balk by Myrtle Beach pitching this season. So Doughty scores, and Keenan Walker is now 90 feet from home.
An unusual movement. He had the hand in the glove, and then he pulled it out and put it behind his back.
It didn't look like he had a great handle on the baseball. It was weird. Almost looked like one of those crane games at an arcade where you have that stuffed animal and then it falls off.
You spent way too many quarters on that, haven't you?
No comment. 0-1 with the infield in now. And Early lashes one to right center field. We're tied at 2. Nolan Early with a couple of base hits in his third high A start. And the Dash take advantage of a couple of Myrtle Beach defensive blunders.
Well, that's the key when you haven't had any opportunities in the first 4 innings of the ball game, and the other team lets you in it by a very, very routine ground ball to shortstop, and then a balk that was just a mental error. So you've had physical and mental combined, turning out to be 2 runs.
Here comes David Rosario, the pitching coach for Myrtle Beach. So we had an entire infield conversation, and we talked about Jeremy Doughty playing himself into more opportunities. Nolan Early today facing off against a guy in Jonathan Martinez who had given up just 4 hits in 50 RBI against right-handers. Thus, Nolan Early getting the opportunity as a left-handed bat, and he comes through 2 for 2 against a good pitcher.
Means that a smart manager made out the lineup, too.
So the Dash have tied the game. Adam Engel awaiting his 3rd plate appearance. A foul out and a ground out on his Sunday afternoon, with the brightest portion of the day unfolding right now. Some darker clouds out beyond the boards in right, but that's all east of us. It's turned into a very nice afternoon. Rosario, a fascinating watch out there on the mound. You saw Martinez, the pitcher, dusting off the follow-through spot. Rosario talks as much to his catcher and to his infield as any pitching coach I've ever seen.
Well, the pitchers generally aren't really listening anyway. Be perfectly honest with you. You're so locked into what you're doing, you only hear about a quarter of what the guy's saying anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah. Of course, well, we won't go into some of the pitching coaches I had, but...
First one, Adam Engel is a strike. Former All-Star pitcher Larry Sorensen. Alongside me, Brian Boesch. Glad you could join us here today. Did you like your pitching coach in your All-Star season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
actually, I liked almost all the pitching coaches that I had.
Okay. 0-1 pitch.
Pitching coach, by the time you get to the major league level, even more so than in the minor league level, is more psychologist and doctor than he is somebody that works with you on your mechanics. You either have the talent to play at that level or you don't. Down here, it's a little bit different because you've got raw talent that needs to be formed and developed. By the time you get to the big leagues, you've either got the ability to play at that level or you don't, and then it's just a matter of getting the most out of the ability that you have, and you do that by being the patter on the back or the kicker in the butt, one or the other, you know, whatever it takes that day. The only guy that I really had a problem with was the guy, the real mechanical guy, told me one day before I was facing the Red Sox.
1-2 pitch, and Engel lays off.
I'm 15 minutes away from pitching against the Boston Red Sox, and he said, I think that your arm is about a half-inch low.
Whoa.
And so what do you think of for the next 2 1/3 innings that I lasted? I thought about getting my arm up that extra half-inch, and in the meantime was throwing fastballs down the middle of the plate to Jim Rice and Dwight Evans, and
Another one spoiled by Engel.
Fred Lynn got me pretty good, as I recall. Rice got me really good.
It's mental.
It is.
There's a lot of mental.
No question about it.
A lot of mental avenues that people have to keep in mind on the mound. And sometimes, instead of keeping them in your mind, you just need to shoo them away.
Yeah. And essentially, babysitting is half the job for a pitching coach.
2-2. Another one fouled off by Adam Engel. That's why J.R. Purdue's never going to be a big league pitching coach. He doesn't want to be a big league pitching coach. What J.R. Purdue here in Winston-Salem does, and what pitchers wax poetic when it comes to talking about J.R., is his ability to work on those raw, unrefined tools that pitchers have at this level.
He can be a motivator, too. He was quite the motivator in the bullpen working with one of his young pitchers this morning before the game.
2-2. And an excuse me swing, Topper right at home.
And
JR was having a nice relaxing
very
seat over there.
special shot of JR working very hard in the dugout. I've got a lot of respect for JR Purdue. I really do, and I really enjoy coming to the ballpark and talking with him.
Man.
And the people that he has gleaned knowledge from and talks about, Leo Mazzoni and some of those kinds of people, the great pitching coaches of our era and generation.
Yeah, Leo Mazzoni, one of his greatest influences.
Bruce Del Canton.
Off the end of the bat. Bouncer that Rogers bobbles, kicks to the second baseman Lockhart, and Engel speed beats it out. Ball gets away for a moment, but Engel had it anyways. And Nolan Early gets to third on the play. So that should be a straight error on the first baseman, Jacob Rogers. I know that Adam Engel's fast, but if Rogers backhands that, then it's an easy out.
And then you could see that going over to cover first base, Martinez took his eye off the ball so that he could watch for the base, and he tried to reach down with his foot and look down at it, and the ball was coming at the same time. And he just barely tipped it.
It is a hit and an error. Interesting. So,
very interesting.
Yeah. So it's not on Rogers, we'll have to get ruling if it's on Lockhart on the throw.
Got to be on the throw if it's going to be.
It is. Just popped up. So here's Jake Peter. Runners at the corners, 1 out. And Adam Engel, second in this league, fourth in minor league baseball with 19 stolen bases. He has an opportunity here to try to take second base with the good hitting Jake Peter at the plate. There is some activity for Myrtle Beach in the bullpen. First time we've seen some struggles from the right-handed starter, Jonathan Martinez. It's Taylor Scott, the South African, loosening down the line. Winston-Salem has been able to handle most of Myrtle Beach's starting pitching thus far in this series. And they've got a good rotation. Good pitch there from the right-hander, Jonathan Martinez.
They've got a pretty good everything from the looks of things. 18-12.
Best record in the league. They've been outstanding away from home for a second straight year.
Hard to believe they're 500 at home and 11-5 on the road.
They swept the Dash
11-8
here
rather.
In April, and then the Dash took 3 of 4 down there later in the month. Engel was running, and Peter fouls it back to the screen. He'd like to have that swing back, 1-2.
Going to Myrtle Beach Tuesday. Wake Forest University is playing Coastal Carolina.
Great campus. Brad Goldberg, Dash reliever, played there for a couple of seasons. So did 2014 outfielder Jacob May.
They got a great program. They've got a very good team this year.
Oh, I'd hope so. Hey, come down here, play baseball, and hang out on the beach. It's a tough sell when you're going up against Coastal Carolina if you're somebody in, I don't know, the Midwest. There goes Engel again. 1-2, dribbled towards second base. This will score Nolan Early. The Dash take a 3-2 lead. Jake Peter with his 18th RBI.
And Tim Esme starts the runner, stays out of the double play.
So here's Trey Mihawczewski, and you want to have Trey up here with an RBI opportunity. 15 ribbies in his last 6 games entering play today. So far in this one, a line out. Boy, he blistered one to the first baseman, Rogers, who corralled it head high. And he flied out to center field. 2 down, a runner at second. The Dash with 3 here in this 5th frame. They're up by 1. Mihawczewski swinging for the fences there. He went yard yesterday.
He wasn't thinking flare to left with that swing.
Nope.
Got in on his hands a little bit.
Well, Myrtle Beach needs Martinez to at least get out of this 5th inning. Not just from the scoring standpoint, but their bullpen has taken a beating in recent days. Time called right before Martinez raised the leg. They had a doubleheader on Wednesday at home. yesterday, of course, here at BB&T Ballpark. And we told you the starters have scuffled. Dash tagged Jen-Ho Sang for 4 runs and 3 2/3 in the nightcap yesterday. Tyler Scalina did throw well in the opener, 6 innings, 2 runs. Dash obliterated Paul Blackburn on Friday, 5 runs in 2 innings. And they knocked out the first Pelicans reliever after one, Ben Wells. He also gave up 5.
Makes for a rough start when you've got that many games, that many days, and your early guys get beat up on.
Gosh, if it weren't for Scalina yesterday, Myrtle Beach would be in a world of hurt. Surprised they didn't add a pitcher. 0-2. Line shot right center field. And it will hang up enough for Billy McKinney. The Dash get 3 runs thanks to a couple of errors and a balk here from Myrtle Beach. Winston leads for the first time of the game, 3-2 through 5 here on